Here's a what's happening video about what's happening. I today glued in these dowels, marked out, drilled out, glued in the dowels. Slightly different place than they were originally, if you can tell. Just because I didn't want to totally drill out these discs, you know, completely where they were. Otherwise they might just shatter and come apart. So I've got this out. This is the height that I'm going to eventually want them. Tomorrow I'll put this on, cut these off. I'm getting ready to drill out the holes for these guys, which I can still see where they belong, even though they inadvertently got filled in with this stuff when I squished it in there. It'll easily drill out. I got to clean up the bottom of these a little bit. And then I'm going to use epoxy to put these back on. Don't tell anybody about that. Anyway, here is, where is here? These guys, you may need some context here. These things are back here. Let's see where they go. You can see where they was. And you can see where I drilled them out oversized, not really thinking that, oh yeah, these are going to be hard to fill. The dowels are not as big as I drilled them out, right? I wanted to drill out the whole oversized to collect all the dowel when I popped it out. So how to fix these so that this is filled in? Yeah, I could just put the dowel in here in between there and have it, you know, floating, but that's not totally cool if you ask me. So what is totally cool is making another one, and instead of making it out of solid wood like this, I made it out of 3 pieces of veneer, and I sandwiched the veneer in there like a pin block. So I should have thought this through. I can't take this off while I'm videotaping. I don't know why I'm going to try. One of these clamps could well end up hitting me on the foot, which feel free to share that video if you like. A clamp hitting some guy's foot is pretty cool. So I took scrap. This is maple, quarter saw maple veneer that I used to fit pin blocks in. This is going to be a kind of scattered video, but right now I'm going to take this amount of wood off the edge of this pin block here because it has to move to the right, that amount. And then I'll be gluing some of this veneer onto this side as a spacer to fill that space. So anyway, long story short, I have a lot of this maple veneer. Ignore the sound of that. So in order to glue it together without it totally sliding all over the place, I put this tape on here. It's been glued up for like 2 hours or something like that. But I found if I leave the tape on overnight, it's just not going to come off. It really, even though this tape is made to come off, it really doesn't if you leave it on there overnight. So I'm taking it off like this now. Then tomorrow I will draw these things out. It's a pretty simple process. I don't know why I'm showing it. I just think this is the kind of fun work that, you know, you would do every day if you had the chance. So anyway, that's that. So I'll be making new ones of these. Also, you can see a little bit of the old soundboard came off with these pieces. I could scrape that off again, but I filled it in with that epoxy stuff. I did re-drill these holes. Here's the molding here, which this also needs to get refit and re-glued into here. it suffered a small amount of damage right here, if you can see. They used a questionable piece of wood in there, but it's not really that questionable. The grain goes down here and then it swings wide, and this little piece chipped out. Now, what to do about that? These are the kind of problems you should have in life. This little, it's meaningless, yet when you're trying to make something look really nice, what are you going to do with that? It goes up against here. Yeah, I could use putty to fill that in. It would not be, sacrilegious to do that. Okay, now we get to this end here where we still have this. I've got to dig up some pictures of this piano because I have no idea what was here originally. This is an odd-looking place. This is where the soundboard, the pin block glues to originally. This is all straight ahead, and then we get to here, and I think what I'm going to do is take this chunk of extra soundboard, which is over thick, try to figure out, how the grain goes this way. I think I'm just going to chisel down. I'll pull this stuff out of here that I put in there, just bang that out, and I'll fit a piece that goes in here, and then I'll trim it down thickness wise. I still haven't done anything about this little overhang issue, underhang. It's not overhanging, it's underhanging. I know it doesn't matter. I know technically it doesn't matter, but I'm wondering sometimes when you're playing a piano and you're sitting here at the keyboard, you actually might be able to see this. The plate is here, the strings are here, but you may be able to see this part right here. And this is not something that you want people to see, even though I feel like this is certainly glued down nice. I don't have any problem, remember this piece of wood is 1.5 inches here. It's not like up here this gets very thin. You would not want a very thin piece of wood to only be glued on an even thinner surface, but this is a big fat piece of wood glued on a fat piece of surface. So what to do cosmetically about fixing this? And again, whatever this disaster, you can see this too from if you're standing over here in the piano, looking over there, you can see that. So again, there's nothing structural going on here. It's it doesn't matter anything but cosmetically, but still cosmetically these things matter. So that's where we are today.